The eyes you feel. Have you ever walked into a room and felt the atmosphere shift? Not because you spoke, not because you moved, but because something unseen reacted to your presence. This is not imagination. This is awareness awakening. The silent observer. There is always someone watching. Not with hatred, not with envy, but with deep interest in who you are becoming. And the truth is, the one watching will shock you. A different frequency. You've never fit in. Conversations felt shallow. Trends felt empty. You sensed more beneath the surface of reality. That difference is not weakness, it is signal. Marked by awareness. A chosen one is not chosen for comfort. They are chosen for consciousness. You see patterns others ignore. You feel shifts before they happen. You question what others blindly accept. The weight of being seen. When you carry light you cannot hide. Even in silence, your presence speaks. People study you without realizing it. Some admire, some resist. But all feel something. Misunderstood from the start. Since childhood, you sensed you were different. Your questions were deeper. Your thoughts were older than your years. And instead of guidance, you often met confusion. Spiritual pressure. Awakening is not soft. It feels like pressure in the soul. Like being stretched beyond your limits. Like outgrowing every version of yourself too quickly. The test of isolation. Chosen ones walk alone before they lead. Isolation shapes clarity. Silence sharpens perception. Loneliness forces strength. You were not abandoned, you were being prepared. Why society RSISTSU? Systems prefer predictability. You are unpredictable. They prefer obedience. You seek truth. So resistance becomes your shadow. The energy shift. Have you noticed how some people grow quiet around you? How others over-explain themselves? Your awareness exposes what is hidden. And exposure makes people uncomfortable. The watcher REVLED. The one watching is not always an enemy. Sometimes it is destiny observing your readiness. Sometimes it is opportunity waiting for alignment. Sometimes it is a test measuring your growth. Spiritual discernment. Not every gaze is hostile. Not every challenge is attack. You must develop discernment. A calm mind, a steady heart. The fire within. There is something in you that refuses to dim. No matter the rejection. No matter the delay. No matter the misunderstanding. That fire is not accidental. Signs you are awakening. You crave solitude more than noise. You value truth over approval. You feel guided by conviction, not trends. And you cannot return to who you used to be. The price of awareness. Awareness costs comfort. It costs relationships that no longer align. It costs old identities. But it grants freedom. Feeling called. You feel pulled toward something greater. Not fame, not applause. But purpose. A mission that feels bigger than ego. The internal battle. Your greatest war was never external. It was doubt versus belief. Fear versus calling. Comfort versus growth. And you chose growth. The hidden training. Every setback trained you. Every betrayal refined you. Every delay strengthened patience. Nothing was wasted. Why all eyes are on you? Because transformation is rare. Because courage stands out. Because authenticity is powerful. And power attracts attention. RESPONDNG2 pressure. You can shrink. Or you can stand taller. You can fear the gaze. Or you can understand it. The shocking truth. The one watching most closely is the version of you that knows your potential, your higher awareness, your conscience measuring your alignment, self-accountability. You are being observed by your own standard, your own integrity, your own spiritual growth. You cannot lie to yourself. Embracing responsibility. Being chosen means being responsible for your energy, for your influence, for your growth, the courage to continue. Not everyone will understand you. That is fine. You were not created for universal approval. You were created for meaningful impact. A quiet confidence. Stop explaining your depth to shallow minds. Stop shrinking to fit small spaces. Walk steady. Let your presence speak. The next level. You feel change approaching. That tension in the air. That sense of shift. It means elevation is near. Stay grounded. With awareness comes humility. With growth comes gratitude. Stay grounded in faith. Stay anchored in integrity. The final realization. All eyes are on you because you carry influence. But the most important gaze is your own. Live in a way that honors your calling. Live in a way that reflects truth. The awakening continues. This is not the end of your journey. It is the beginning of deeper clarity. Stand firm in who you are becoming. And do not apologize for evolving. If this message spoke directly to your spirit, don't scroll away. Like this video to declare that you're stepping fully into your awareness. Comment, "I see it now," if you're ready to embrace your calling without fear. And subscribe to Return to Awakening so you never miss the truths that were always meant to find you. The responsibility of vision. When your eyes open, you cannot pretend blindness. You notice manipulation in conversations. You sense intention behind smiles. You recognize patterns repeating in cycles. Awareness removes the luxury of ignorance. The burden of clarity. Clarity is heavy. Because once you see truth, you must respond to it. You can no longer participate in illusions comfortably. You can no longer laugh at what corrupts your spirit. This is why growth feels isolating. The shift in RELATIONSHIPS. As you evolve, your circle shifts. Some people drift without explanation. Others resist your transformation. Not because they hate you, but because your growth confronts their stagnation. The magnetic effect. Energy recognizes energy. Those aligned with purpose feel drawn to you. Those resisting growth feel exposed by you. You don't have to announce your awakening. It announces itself. The test of humility. Power without humility becomes ego. Awakening without grounding becomes delusion. You are not chosen to feel superior. You are chosen to serve with wisdom. That balance is everything. The discipline of silence. Not every revelation must be shared. Not every insight needs validation. Sometimes silence protects your vision. Sometimes quiet preparation strengthens impact. Move strategically. The spiritual warfare within. Doubt whispers louder when you are close to breakthrough. Fear increases before elevation. Distractions multiply before destiny unfolds. This is not coincidence. It is resistance to your expansion. The pattern of pressure. Notice how pressure intensifies right before growth. Like coal transforming under weight. Like muscles strengthening through resistance. Your trials are not random. They are refinement. The difference between lonely and alone. Alone is physical. Lonely is emotional. You may be alone in rooms, but you are not spiritually isolated. Purpose walks with you. The watchful world. The world studies what it cannot understand. They analyze your confidence. They question your calmness. They wonder how you remain steady, because stability in chaos is rare. The sharpening season. There is a season where everything feels stripped away. Comfort fades, certainty dissolves, plans collapse, but identity becomes stronger. The courage to be different. It takes courage to reject what everyone accepts, to stand firm when pressured to conform, to remain grounded when misunderstood. Difference is not rebellion. It is authenticity. The internal compass. You no longer follow noise. You follow conviction. An internal compass guides your decisions, even when the path looks uncertain, even when no one else sees the vision. The role of patience. You are not late. You are not behind. Preparation takes time. Foundation must be strong before elevation. Rushing ruins destiny. The exposure of truth. As you rise, hidden things surface. Hidden motives. Hidden intentions. Hidden weaknesses within yourself. Exposure is cleansing, not punishment. The power of restraint. You could react. You could argue. You could prove yourself. But restraint shows mastery. And mastery commands respect. The energy of focus. Distractions are louder when your focus sharpens. Opportunities appear that look shiny but empty. Voices try to redirect your attention. Stay centered. Not everything deserves your energy. The building of resilience. You survived what was meant to break you. You endured seasons that felt endless. You faced doubts that felt suffocating. Yet here you stand. That is not luck. The AWAKNED discernment. You now sense alignment quickly. You recognize what nourishes your spirit. You identify what drains it. And you choose wisely. Growth demands it. The invisible preparation. While others watched casually, you were training quietly, developing discipline, strengthening mindset, aligning intention with action. The elevation moment. There comes a moment when preparation meets opportunity, when readiness meets timing, when clarity meets courage, and everything shifts suddenly. The watcher RETURNS. And when that shift happens, the eyes you once feared will look different. Some will respect. Some will regret. Some will remain silent. But you will remain steady, the pressure before promotion. There is always pressure before elevation. Doors feel closed. Support feels distant. Progress feels invisible. But pressure is proof that something is forming. The REFINING fire. Fire does not destroy gold. It reveals it. Every trial you faced burned away illusion. Burned away dependency. Burned away weakness you didn't know you carried. The shift in confidence. Your confidence is quieter now. Not loud, not performative. It doesn't need applause. It doesn't beg for agreement. It simply stands. The end of people-pleasing. You no longer bend to be accepted. You no longer shrink to be liked. You no longer explain yourself to be understood. Alignment matters more than approval. Peace matters more than popularity. The detachment phase. There comes a season of detachment. Not bitterness. Not anger. But clarity. You release what no longer aligns. The breaking of old identities. You outgrew the version of you that survived. Now you are stepping into the version that leads. Survival taught you strength. But leadership requires vision. And vision requires courage. The calm in chaos. While others panic, you observe. While others react, you respond. While others shout, you remain grounded. That composure is not accidental. It is earned. The test of temptation. Not every opportunity is assignment. Some are distractions disguised as destiny. Some are shortcuts disguised as blessings. Discernment protects you. Integrity preserves you. The internal standard. Your standards have risen, not because you feel superior, but because you understand your value. You no longer negotiate your principles. You no longer compromise your growth. The energy you carry. Have you noticed how people open up to you unexpectedly? How strangers confide in you? How conversations deepen around you? You carry presence, and presence shifts atmospheres. The weight of influence. Influence is responsibility. Your words impact more than you realize. Your silence teaches more than you know. Your consistency inspires without announcement. Be mindful of what you embody. The season of observation. Sometimes you are not meant to act. You are meant to watch, to study patterns, to understand dynamics. Preparation often looks like stillness. The strength of restraint. You could expose. You could confront. You could disrupt. But timing matters. Wisdom waits for the right moment. The growth others don't see. They see the outcome. They don't see the discipline. They see the confidence. They don't see the battles fought in silence. But you remember. The endurance factor. You lasted longer than doubt expected. You remained steady longer than fear predicted. You endured storms that were meant to scatter you. Endurance is rare, and rarity attracts attention. The shift in priorities. What once impressed you no longer moves you. What once distracted you no longer tempts you. You crave substance now. You crave depth. You crave purpose. The alignment moment. There is a moment when everything internally aligns. Mind, heart, conviction, action. And when that alignment locks in, nothing external can shake you. The power of consistency. Not hype, not sudden bursts of motivation, but steady commitment. Small disciplined steps repeated daily. Consistency builds unshakable identity. The watchful world returns. Now the same eyes that questioned you are observing quietly. The same voices that doubted are analyzing silently. The same people who misunderstood are reconsidering. But you are no longer performing for them. You are aligned with purpose. The next threshold. You feel it. The edge of something new. The doorway to a higher level. The tension before transition. Do not fear this threshold, the edge of transformation. Standing at the threshold feels uncomfortable. Old doors are closed behind you. New ones have not fully opened. You are suspended between who you were and who you are becoming. This space is sacred. The death of doubt. Doubt once controlled your decisions. It whispered hesitation. It magnified fear. But now you see it for what it is. A test of conviction. The AWAKNED self-trust. You trust your instincts more. You no longer ignore red flags. You no longer silence your inner warning. Your intuition has been trained through experience. And it rarely lies. The expansion of vision. Your dreams are bigger now. Not louder, bigger. They stretch beyond comfort. Beyond what feels immediately possible. Because your perspective has expanded. The discipline of focus. Focus is your new currency. You guard it carefully. You don't waste it on drama. You don't scatter it on negativity. You invest it in growth. The separation season. Not everyone can follow where you are headed. Some connections were seasonal. Some conversations were temporary. Release without resentment. Growth requires space. The recognition of patterns. You see cycles repeating in others' lives. You see self-sabotage disguised as excuses. You see fear masked as arrogance. Awareness sharpens your compassion, but it also sharpens your boundaries. The inner strength. You no longer need validation to move forward. You no longer seek permission to evolve. You move because conviction pushes you. You act because alignment demands it. Strength has become internal. The weight of purpose. Purpose is not light. It carries responsibility. It demands discipline. It requires sacrifice. But it fills you with meaning. The quiet season of building. While others chase visibility, you build foundation. While others seek applause, you refine skill. While others compete, you prepare. The unseen support. Even when you feel alone, you are guided by principles, anchored by faith, grounded in truth. You are not wandering without direction. The breakthrough tension. Tension is increasing for a reason. Pressure is building for a reason. Momentum is forming beneath the surface. You cannot see it fully yet, but you can feel it. The shift in identity. You are no longer trying to prove yourself. You are simply becoming yourself. No masks, no performance, just authenticity. The courage to stand firm. Voices will question you. Opinions will challenge you. Doubts will attempt to return. Stand firm anyway. Conviction silences noise. The AWAKNED leader. Leadership does not always hold a title. Sometimes it is influence. Sometimes it is example. Sometimes it is integrity under pressure. You lead by how you live. The power of self-control. Self-control is greater than dominance. Restraint is stronger than aggression. Patience is deeper than impulse. Mastery begins within, and you are mastering yourself. The final preparation. Everything you endured was preparation. Every delay taught timing. Every rejection built resilience. Every silence developed focus. Nothing was random, the rising standard. Your standards are no longer negotiable. You don't entertain what drains you. You don't tolerate what disrespects your peace. You don't chase what refuses alignment. Elevation demands boundaries. The silent elevation. Growth is not always loud. Sometimes it is invisible. Habits shifting. Mindset expanding. Discipline strengthening behind closed doors. The courage to walk away. There is power in leaving what no longer fits. Power in choosing peace over chaos. Power in stepping back instead of fighting. Walking away is not weakness. It is wisdom. The REDEFINED success. Success is no longer applause. It is alignment. It is sleeping with a clear conscience. It is waking with purpose. It is moving without regret. The protection of energy. You feel energy now. You sense tension before words are spoken. You recognize sincerity without proof. You protect your space carefully, because your energy fuels your mission. The inner peace test. Peace is tested when provoked. Calm is tested when challenged. Faith is tested when delayed. And in every test, you are stronger than before. The distance from drama. You no longer need to respond to everything. Silence has become your shield. Maturity has become your answer. You choose where to invest emotion. Not every battle deserves you. The clarity after pain. Pain sharpened your perception. It exposed illusions. It broke unhealthy attachments. It forced you to rebuild wisely. Pain was a teacher, not an enemy. The steady confidence. Your confidence is steady now. Not based on mood. Not based on praise. Not based on comparison. It is rooted in self-awareness. The shift in desire. You desire impact over attention, depth over popularity, truth over trend, meaning over momentary gain. Your priorities reflect your growth. The watchful shift. The same world that doubted you now studies you. They see consistency. They see discipline. They see transformation. And transformation commands respect. The responsibility of influence. Influence is subtle. People mirror what they see. They absorb your discipline. They notice your restraint. You lead without speaking loudly. The internal alignment. Your thoughts are clearer. Your intentions are purer. Your actions are deliberate. You are no longer scattered. You are aligned. The strength in stillness. Stillness is not stagnation. It is preparation. It is awareness. It is control. From stillness, power emerges. The confirmation within. You don't need signs from the outside anymore. You feel confirmation internally. A calm certainty. A grounded assurance. You know you are on the right path. The expansion of capacity. What once overwhelmed you now strengthens you. Pressure that once broke you now builds you. Responsibility that once scared you now sharpens you. Your capacity has expanded. You can carry more. The final shift before breakthrough. There is always a final shift. A mental click. A spiritual alignment. A decisive commitment. And once it happens, there is no turning back, the point of no return. You have crossed a line internally. The old mindset no longer fits. The old fears no longer control you. The old excuses no longer convince you. There is no going back to who you were. The release of validation. You no longer need applause to feel worthy. You no longer need agreement to feel secure. You no longer chase recognition to feel significant. Your value is self-established. And that changes everything. The clarity of discernment. You instantly recognize misalignment now. You sense when something is forced. You detect when energy is artificial. Discernment has become instinct. It protects your direction. The unbothered mindset. What once triggered you now teaches you. What once angered you now amuses you. What once intimidated you now strengthens you. Emotional control is your advantage. Composure is your power. The power of delay. You understand delay differently now. Delay is development. Delay is protection. Delay is positioning. Timing is part of the design. The solid foundation. Your roots are deeper. Your principles are firmer. Your focus is sharper. Storms may come, but you are not easily shaken. The reaction of others. Some will attempt to compete. Some will attempt to copy. Some will attempt to criticize. But none can replicate your journey. Authenticity cannot be duplicated. The internal authority. You have stopped outsourcing your decisions. You have stopped asking everyone for advice. You have stopped doubting your own wisdom. There is authority within you now. A quiet command over your life. The elevated perspective. You see years ahead. You think long-term. You move strategically. Impulses no longer dictate you. Vision directs you. The control of focus. You choose what deserves attention. You choose what deserves emotion. You choose what deserves response. Control of focus is control of life. And you have reclaimed it. The discipline of growth. Growth is not glamorous. It is repetition. It is sacrifice. It is showing up when motivation fades. You have embraced the process. The invisible confidence. There is a calm in your posture, a steadiness in your voice, a certainty in your decisions. You no longer second-guess every step. You trust the path unfolding. The shift in atmosphere. Rooms feel different when you enter. Conversations adjust when you speak. Energy recalibrates around you. Presence is influence. And your presence is undeniable. The resistance before recognition. Right before recognition, resistance increases. Right before expansion, pressure intensifies. Right before breakthrough, doubt whispers louder. Do not misinterpret resistance. It signals proximity. The unbreakable core. They tried to discourage you. They tried to overlook you. They tried to underestimate you. But your core remained intact. Integrity cannot be shaken by opinion. The focus on legacy. You think beyond today now. Beyond temporary gain. Beyond short-term excitement. You think about impact. You think about meaning. The stillness before acceleration. There's a quiet pause right now. A deep breath before movement. A gathering of strength. A final alignment of intention. Acceleration is near. The confidence without arrogance. You know your worth. But you remain humble. You recognize your growth. But you remain grounded. Strength and humility now coexist within you, the elevated self-image. You no longer see yourself through old labels. You no longer define yourself by past mistakes. You no longer shrink because of former failures. Your self-image has evolved, and everything flows from that identity. The breaking of limits. Limits you once believed were permanent now feel temporary. Ceilings you once accepted now feel artificial. Barriers you once feared now feel negotiable. Expansion begins in the mind. And your mind has expanded. The silence of confidence. You don't announce your next move. You don't broadcast every plan. You don't reveal every strategy. Silence protects momentum. And quiet growth multiplies results. The detachment from outcome. You focus on effort, not obsession. You commit to discipline, not desperation. You release the need to control every result. Peace increases when control decreases. And trust strengthens action. The strength to NCYCLES. You recognize toxic patterns quickly now. You refuse to repeat old mistakes. You break cycles that once trapped you. Ending cycles requires courage. And you have chosen courage. The composure under scrutiny. When eyes are on you, remain steady. When opinions rise, remain grounded. When pressure builds, remain centered. Attention is not a threat. It is a test of stability. The inner alignment check. Before every major move, you pause. You check your intention. You measure your motive. You examine your heart. Alignment matters more than speed. The power of self-respect. You speak to yourself differently now. You treat your time as valuable. You guard your mind carefully. Self-respect sets the tone for everything else. And yours is rising. The storm-proof mindset. Storms no longer intimidate you. You have survived worse. You have endured silence, rejection, delay. This next challenge is simply another chapter. And you are stronger than the plot. The discipline of patience. You move with patience now. Not laziness, not hesitation. Strategic patience. Measured patience. Confident patience. The independent thinker. You no longer follow the crowd blindly. You question narratives. You analyze motives. You seek depth over drama. Independent thinking sets you apart. The weight of self-awareness. You know your strengths clearly. You know your weaknesses honestly. You are not in denial. You are not inflated by ego. Self-awareness is your anchor. The transformation others feel. Even if they can't explain it, they feel it. Something about you is different. More grounded. More focused. More intentional. The unseen war won. Battles were fought internally. Temptations resisted quietly. Habits broken silently. Mindsets rebuilt privately. Victories won without witnesses. The final internal shift. There is one last hesitation fading away. One last doubt dissolving. One last fear losing power. You feel lighter. Clearer. The moment before declaration. Soon you will move boldly. Soon you will act decisively. Soon you will step fully into authority. But right now, you are gathering certainty. And certainty is solidifying.